This is Marc Rudov, branding advisor to CEOs and author of Brand is Destiny, the ultimate bottom line, and Be Unique or Be Ignored, the CEO's Guide to Branding. Today's topic, how Jerry Seinfeld could flop. There's a movement in high-tech circles, in the automobile industry, in the government, to push for driverless cars. This is not based at all on consumer demand. This is based on tyranny. Certain people at high levels have decided that we can't trust human beings with cars, so we need to take cars away from them and have the cars operate autonomously. Nothing could be more dangerous. Now, if you read chapter 5 of Brand is Destiny, the conformity chapter, I explain why this is happening and why it has nothing to do, once again, nothing to do with consumer demand, consumer wishes. I also explain why it's very dangerous. When you drive a driverless car, it's like having an iPhone on wheels. An iPhone is susceptible to viruses, it's hackable, and it's crashable. Has your iPhone ever crashed? Has it ever frozen? Well, imagine that iPhone on wheels careening down the highway with your family in the back seat, and all of a sudden it crashes. And then, of course, so do you. It makes no sense. And people are just assuming it's going to happen and that it should happen. But it shouldn't happen, and nobody wants it because people love cars. When presidents leave office, journalists interview them to ask, while you were in the Oval Office, what did you miss the most about civilian life? Invariably, one of the top answers is, I missed driving. That's right. Here's a shot of President Bush with Jay Leno driving around Bush's ranch down in Texas. Because people love their cars and they love to drive. And to think that they're going to give that up because bureaucrats and technocrats deem that the future, I don't believe it. And people need to fight back. Jerry Seinfeld has a very popular series that's now on Netflix. It's called Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. In each episode, he profiles a really super cool car. It could be a vintage car, it could be a modern car, but he details what's under the hood and why the car is so fun to drive and why people just fall in love with it. He gets together with one of his comedian friends, and then they go to have coffee. He combines two of his loves, cars and coffee, and I guess a third love, comedians, the 3 C's. And usually the episode is very entertaining. Sometimes the guests aren't that interesting, but mostly they are. But you have cars that people love. People love to have coffee. They love to have conversation. Watch this clip and you'll see for yourself.
This is a 1963 Corvette Stingray in silver blue with a blue interior and kind of a dark purplish upholstery. Killer. It's got a 327 cubic inch V8, 4-barrel carbs, and proper knockoff wheels. Are there faster Corvettes? Yes. Are there bigger engine tire melting Corvettes? Of course. Are there cooler Corvettes? I don't think so. 1963 is the only year with the split rear window. This car looks like a submarine. Like you could drive right into the water and keep going. It's edgy, it's stubby, it's perfectly proportioned with just the right amount of detail and just the right stance. I'll have coffee. I would love coffee, an Americano.
Just black coffee.
I would love some coffee.
I think I'll have a cappuccino.
I'll have an herbal tea. I can talk just as well holding this cup as if there were coffee in it. What's the difference?
We go to an ice cream shop. I get a cone. and you get a salad. That's the difference. And you go, what? I'm eating, you're eating. It's the mood. Oh, you got a coffee. That's nice.
I'm having a coffee. Oh, no.
Wow, what a beautiful car.
The one guy makes a move on me, so I crack him in the jaw. The other guy smashes me with a bottle in the face.
Elephants painted gold, and they come in with helicopter launching pads on their backs, and helicopters land, and monkeys come out and play kazoos. Yes.
So I move out on a night out, he moves out to Palm, he moves out to Bishop, out to Ton, in 2 minutes he's moving here, got me in a defense, boom, checkmate. I went, whoa!
Give me Larry David in the debauched. So, we had a little magic today.
Yes.
What is it then exactly?
I don't know.
It's comedy and cars with coffee.
Right.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
You have finally done the show about nothing.
That was great, wasn't it? Especially how he detailed the '63 Corvette. Now here's how Jerry Seinfeld could flop. He won't flop because he's too smart. Jerry Seinfeld knows his audience. And that's one of the fundamental principles of branding. Knowing your audience, knowing what your audience wants, and connecting with your audience. That's what a brand is. Brand is a customer-validated value proposition. It's the connection to the customer, and it sets the purpose and direction of your company. Jerry Seinfeld is too smart to flop, but here's how he could flop. He could change his whole series into comedians in driverless cars getting coffee served by robots. Would anybody watch that? No. Would any of his comedian friends be interested in getting together with him to do the shoot? No. Because people love cars and they love coffee served by human beings. So we can't ignore the reality of life just because technocrats tell us that we must. Branding is never going to change. The fundamentals of branding will never change. And if you ignore them, you will fail. But I can help you. I don't want you to flop. Contact me, Marc Rudov, at markrudov.com.